Hey guys, so should be able to. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm gonna double check that you guys. I think you guys can hear me. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm on my lunch break, so that's why I'm deciding to come here today to do this live event a little bit earlier than I originally said that I would. Hope you guys had a wonderful week. I'm super excited to dive into this with you guys today. Just give me a second here. Yeah, I should have set it up before I came on. Uh, let's see. So I do need to change the title of this at a later time, because originally I think I put 7 days, but in reality, it ended up just being mm, 5 days. So yeah. So today we're talking about it's supposed to be 7 days, strengthening my relationship with Allah, but it ended up being 5 days. And that's more than enough. So if you guys were paying attention to my post this week, you realize that we were doing a challenge for the night for forgiveness. And so because of that, it was just time to really just tune into Allah and just get closer to Him and just spend more time with Allah. Um, so assalamu alaikum everyone. I completely skipped the greetings and meetings. But yeah, today we're going to be exploring 5 intentional days, that you can use to transform your relationship with Allah. It doesn't have to be any specific time. I only did it this week specifically because it was a special week. Um, and yeah, so let's get into it. So first thing first, the first thing we have to think about is why did I originally choose 7 days? It was supposed to be due to consistency, but I think after you do it for 3 days, like you really build a consistency. But yeah, it's the significance of like consistency in Islam and like how small daily actions lead to lasting changes in your life. So personally, being dedicated to something and doing it day in, day out, which in our case, we're being dedicated to Allah and putting time or spending time with Him in extra rakas or maybe listening to the Quran or whatever that might look like on a regular basis. So, yeah, for day one, I really focus on being mindful of what I was doing by mindfully praying, focusing on the quality over the quantity of praying, um, and just making sure that I'm not being distracted by other things while I'm praying or rushing myself with like making sure that I get back to work on time if it's like in the middle of the day prior or whatever the case might be, because I saw myself like doing that sometimes. I don't know if anyone else is guilty of that, like if they're at work and they know that they have to like go pray, then they're like kind of rushing their prayer. This week I like slowed down a little bit and I really took my time making sure that I was intentional about my prayers and making sure that I was mindful. And it was a beautiful experience. And then the second thing that I did too was just I tried my best to have like simple like morning and afternoon like dikas or like constantly remember Allah by putting my prayer bead like next to my desk because I work from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Well, 7:30 p.m. So it's a bit hard, but I used my prayer beads and I just remembered Him throughout the day. Or when I had my break, I listened to Surah Baqarah and like other surahs in my ears, like to just remember Allah throughout the day. And just adding that to my daily routine really made a difference. And I also added just making like using His name, like different names for what I specifically wanted in my life. This week, I really focused on using the names Al Ghani and Al Mujib. Those two names are really important to me this week because of the circumstances that I am currently facing in my life. So I definitely recommend like whatever challenges you're having in your life or whatever it is that you want in your life. Like if it's something that you know it's typically impossible, look for a name that aligns with whatever it is that you want or whatever it is that you need or whatever challenges you need to overcome, and say that name throughout the day, say that name when you're praying so that it's more impactful. I found that to be extremely useful this week, so much so that one of the prayers that I prayed for came to pass, alhamdulillah. So I definitely recommend putting that in this week or this upcoming week, but that's what I did last week. Another thing is by trying to start your day with, verses if you can. If you can't start your day with verses, then just start your day with something Islamic if you can. Instead of like, scrolling on social media or something, like spend the first few minutes of your day with Allah. Um, so that could be like reading or listening, whatever works best for you. And then just really focusing on asking myself like questions about like ways that I need to improve. So these are what I did like every day I did something like different to like get closer to Allah. I'm not breaking it down properly, but you could do this like yourself by whatever I'm saying, just put them in different days and make that be your biggest focus per each day. Um, Another one I did was like finding ways to like serve others. So whether that be I volunteer via online, because yes, you can. I definitely took part of that, or just connecting good deeds to divine love. So just doing things that do unto others what you want to do unto yourself. And I practice a lot of gratitude this week as well, because sometimes you go throughout the day without realizing how blessed we truly are. So I had a whole day where I just spent just doing just all gratitude for the things that I have. I even thank Allah for giving me proper bowel movements because we take stuff like that for granted all the time. I know people who aren't as blessed to be able to have proper bowel movements. So, yeah, I thank Allah for everything at every single second of the day. It was amazing. And yeah, I combined all of these practices, or plan on continuing to combine all these practices to continue to improve with myself. But overall, the summation of strengthening your relationship with Allah, um, mm, or like how you can make sure that you're strengthening your relationship with Allah is by doing these key things that I took part of. That would be to be consistent, to deal with your obstacles by including Allah, and use like technology to keep on track with things that you need to do, and put Allah in every place, where like something that will remind you to praise Allah in every place that you can visibly see, so that you're constantly thinking of Him. And if you can build accountability, you could have an accountability partner, whatever that might look like for you, then do that. But yeah, now that you guys know all of that stuff, I want to like give you guys a real raw update on just like what has been going on with me. First, I want to thank you guys all for staying in tune every week and following along and subscribing and watching my videos, liking, engaging, commenting. I really appreciate you guys. The weekly newsletter as has been improving, and I have been getting like really good feedback. Shout out to the people that reply to the email and let me know like what challenges you're going to be doing and just like how it has been impacting them. So if you're interested in getting that Islamic plugin every week to keep you connected to Allah, and to learn something new about Islam and your new heritage if you just reverted, then sign up for that newsletter. You can find that in our bio, and it's a great source of information and learning, and just a great way to get connected to Allah all the time. Uh, Another thing is, I had a very, mm, the best way I could say it is, I had a very devastating situation happen this week. I was really looking forward to being part of like this Islamic school, because there's a lot of like different Islamic educational resources. And but unfortunately a lot of them is like it requires you to like learn full time, and I don't have the time to learn full time. Like I said, I work 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and on the weekends I have a few things that I do as well, so I just don't have the time to be able to go to Islamic school full time. So I was super excited about this Islamic part-time school, applied for a scholarship. Originally said that I got accepted, alhamdulillah, but then there's always a twist. Then they were like, "Oh, it's only 95%." And then they're like, "Oh, if you accept the scholarship, then you have to commit to being available on our request to volunteer when we need you to volunteer." Actually, matter of fact, let me read you the email now. Hold on one sec.